If you are going to threaten us with physical violence, you better make sure you're willing to go all the way, because I am.
The way the law works is if the law doesn't say you can't do it, then you can do it.
If you want to lock people up for not breaking laws,
all men are created equal is the idea that if it is wrong for one man to commit an act, it is wrong for all men to commit that act. Too often, members of our government exclude themselves from the ranks of equal men referenced by Thomas Jefferson when he said.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry about the delay. My hair is a little bit crazy, but that is nowhere near as crazy as what's happening to me in Vermillion County, Indiana, with my felony stalking charge that was applied unlawfully. And I maintain it was charged on me maliciously by the Vermillion County prosecution lawyers there, and they are politicians, so they are the most rotten kind of people. Now, the title of this video is, why am I going back to jail on January 31st? The reason I'm going to go back to jail on January 31st is because, as I said before, I have been charged with the crime of stalking maliciously by the Vermillion County prosecution team. After I was given that charge, the judge that they got to sign the warrant, which was an out-of-county judge, they couldn't get the judge in the county to sign the warrant, so they went out of the county to get the warrant signed. So after they found a judge to sign the warrant and to sign all this, he put me in jail. He let me out of jail, and he said, you're going to have to take drug tests. Well, just recently, he told me that I was testing his patience with the way that I did take the drug tests. So I decided that if he was going to try to use this as a way to just power trip and impose a criminal sentence on me prior to having a trial, that I just wouldn't comply with his tyranny either. This is the reason I'm going to be going back to jail on the 31st of January. It's because this judge has imposed a criminal sentence on me. He's basically sentenced me to probation prior to any trial, which goes against the Constitution, but it also goes against morals, right? Look, a stalking charge that's been applied unlawfully in the beginning, he shouldn't have approved the charge. He shouldn't have approved the probable cause affidavit, right? He should have thrown it out, right? Because they literally do not accuse me of a crime in the probable cause affidavit. They say that they accuse me of stalking, but then all of the facts that they allege in the probable cause affidavit, none of those facts equal stalking. Like literally none of them. So the judge has obviously not even looked at it. He's just approved the warrant. Then he's imposed this pretrial sentence on me prior to any trial going on. So that's why I'm saying to him, I'm not going to comply with this. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's criminal, is what it is. The hearing is the part that's criminal, not anything that I did. Right? The hearing itself, actually trying me for this, is criminal because everybody involved knows what they're doing. This is a conspiracy to violate my rights, right? So having recognized this, having recognized that them making me drug test or trying to make me drug test is simply a way of them exercising power, control, and a hope that I can incriminate myself prior to any trial. I'm not going to participate, right? I'm not gonna assist them in violating my rights. I'm not gonna assist them in exercising their perceived authority, right? This isn't gonna happen. So I want to show you guys the pretrial violation that was amended, right? I want to show you guys the amended pretrial violation. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. In the last live stream, I showed y'all a pretrial violation that showed that I was to take my drug tests by July 31st. I made a live stream about that, I think about 5:30 a.m. that day, or maybe 6, or anyways, 2.5 hours, 3 hours after that live stream, the judge went and he amended that order, and we got this one here, which we're about to show you now. Let me make sure that you can see it. I'm going to take myself. Well, I was just informed that my sound is off. So we're going to look at it, guys. Sorry about this, but you guys read it probably. You saw what's going on. But what's going on after that is that on January 31st, they want me to show up at 1:30 p.m. for an appointment for probation. And then if I don't show up for that at 1:30 p.m., they want to issue a warrant for me and have me arrested on arrival at court at 2:30 p.m. because that's when my court is scheduled. I'm not going to comply with it. I am going to stay strong. I told y'all I'm not going to comply with the tyranny. I'm not going to do it, right? It's ridiculous. If they want to lock me up because I'm not going to take a drug test for a stalking charge, go ahead and show everybody just how ridiculous and petty you are, because you're going to take me away from my son. You're going to take me away from my woman. You're going to take me away from my pregnant woman. As a matter of fact, that's really the deal, is that we're having another baby. And these people are so petty that they cooked up false charges. And on top of that, they're going to order me to do ridiculous pretrial sentencing while awaiting trial for those false charges in an attempt to lock me up prior to a trial, right? And so that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to win the trial. That is absolutely certain. I mean, and even if they did win the trial, the higher court's going to throw it out on arrival, right? This is a absolute legal falsehood. This cannot go on. So they amended it, right? Because they had it prior to this, they had ordered me to show up by July 31st, 2024, which was a pretty long time. I made a live stream that morning about it, and within 3 hours, the judge had amended it, which means one of two things. It means that I was right, and there was a massive typo, because in this order, the date is on here 2 times. And that's how it was on the first order as well. If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to go back to my last live stream. I covered it. It's all there. Anyways, it's there 2 times. They say July twice, which leads me to believe that it wasn't a typo, that they actually meant to do it. So either way, what we know now is that the guy has changed his mind, that they want me in jail. So either that guy, the judge, Hunter Reese, saw my video and he decided to amend it after that, or he had ex parte communication with the prosecutor, which is illegal, right? That's illegal. And the prosecutor would have informed him, hey, by the way, you messed up on this order, so I'm just wanting you to correct it, right? Or, I mean, the chances are slim that the guy was just shuffling through all of his past orders and he came across mine and he said, oh, dang, I think I messed up the date on that. And he corrected it, which I highly doubt. I think it's much more likely that he either saw the video that I posted on my live stream a few days ago, or he was informed by the prosecution team, hey, you gave him until July, and this is too long. And, that's illegal. So either way, guys, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to show up to court. I might show up. I want everybody to show up to court. Anybody who's in the area. It's Wednesday, the 31st. We got court at 2:30 p.m. We have a right to be innocent until proven guilty. And until we stand up for that right, it's lost, right? It's gone, because all of our rights are gone in America. That's what we need to realize. We don't have any rights, right? The police can do anything they want to you. They can steal your property, contrary to the Fifth Amendment. They can arrest you for not IDing, contrary to the Fourth Amendment. They can arrest you for speech, contrary to the First Amendment. And they will continue to do that until you stand up, until you stop them from doing that, right? So the only way that we're going to communicate to these people that they cannot keep doing this is if we show up, right? We should show up. There should be 10, 15 people at this court date. And y'all should witness what they're going to do. They're going to arrest me on arrival. And you should express your dislike for that on scene. Right? If you don't like people being arrested for rights violations, come in and see it yourself, because this is what's going to happen. And if you don't see that on that day, you are going to see power cower to real power, which is us. That would be an amazing sight. That would be a sight to behold. But it's not going to happen. What they're going to do is, they know that they've got the guns. They know that they're willing to use them. And so they're going to throw me in a cage, right? And they don't care what any of their constituents want. They simply don't care, right? And, on this note, I think I haven't seen any of the comments yet, guys. I'm going to check it out. But, yeah. All right. That's pretty disturbing, Casey Jones. So, Sun UV Liberty, who was supposedly stalked and threatened with the intent to place them in fear of, well, in Indiana, the code isn't written up quite like that, but it's written up similarly to that, minus the sexual battery. But it was the assistant of a mayor, right? So there is a mayor in Clinton who I was investigating, right? And I always like to bring it up because I'm pretty proud of my investigation. My investigation showed corruption at this city hall and the lying of a city attorney to cover up that corruption. And so, of course, I reported on it. And in response to that, the Democratic mayor had the Democratic prosecutor of that county charge me with stalking. All right. So I'm going to actually bring up the investigation that I did. I'll show you guys a quick intro to it, or the quick kind of introduction to what I did. And this is the report that I was charged with stalking, with felony stalking for. And this is the report that's ultimately going to land me in jail on the 31st because they don't like me. They don't like that I can articulately expose all of their corruption and the double standard that they enforce. And then they don't like that on top of that, I'm not going to play their game. I'm not going to jump through all the hoops on the way to beating these bogus charges. I'm just going to make them violate me heinously. I don't want them to do that. I want them to stop violating me. I want them to drop these charges. But if they're going to go all out, I want them to go all out, right? I want them to actually go all the way. And, if they want to create all the damages that they can, that's fine. This is terrible. I mean, this is not fine. It shouldn't be fine with anybody here. This is awful, right? Because simply putting it, I'm a man, right? I'm living with my family. I'm raising my children. I'm raising my son. I've got another child on the way. So I've got a pregnant woman right now, and we're just living life, right? We're just living, and we're just trying to support a family. And these people, because I performed this investigation, which I'm about to show you right now. We're taking that off the screen. We're going to put this on the screen. This investigation is going to land me in jail because when you expose corruption in America, they will not stand for it. Let's check it out.
Indiana. Let's get into the video.
If you sell this property to some developer or something, do you automatically record that to all of a sudden that developer is responsible from then on?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We give them a deed. They get a deed and it's recorded here.
So there's no building not going on the city property before it's turned over to the developer?
No.
That is the attorney for the city of Clinton in Indiana. And everything you just heard him say was an absolute lie. He is currently being questioned by Vermillion County Commissioner Tim Yoakum.
My question is, has the city had anyone build units on their property before the...
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
The commissioner is asking about these properties. The houses on them were built by contractor Timothy Cottrell, while the city still owned the properties. This allowed the contractor to avoid the cost of such inconveniences as buying the land and paying property taxes, which is probably why Scott Craig is feigning ignorance about them. But he then claims to be knowledgeable about the very area that all this happened on.
That area down around Feather Creek in Clinton, there's a lot of parcels down there, and most people weren't paying their taxes on them because they were worthless parcels of land. So we had a lot concentrated there in that North 6th Street, North 7th Street, North Street area. Most of those now have either been gone through the tax sale. There's a couple of people who still live down there and they do pay their taxes.
So he is aware of the properties, but at the same time, unaware of them. Now, I'm sure you all are thinking, why does this matter? If government officials are speaking, most often they are lying. As true as this lie affects real people and also shows to an extent the lack of accountability for government officials and their close friends. Let me give you some background. In the early 2000s, a man named Kevin Kiger bought almost a whole 2 blocks of properties with the hope of building a home for himself and his offspring. When Kevin went to the city to get a building permit, he was told by Mayor Jack Guilfoyle and 2 of the mayor's predecessors that he would not be able to get a permit for that land because it is in a flood zone. After Kevin realized that he would not be legally allowed to erect a building on his own property, he judged that the property was worthless to him. As a result, Kevin stopped paying property taxes on the now worthless land. The city then took the property from Kevin for delinquent taxes and allowed Timothy Cottrell, a local contractor and friend of the mayor's, to start construction on the same property they just told Kevin he couldn't construct on. On top of that, they let the mayor's friend build while the city still owned the property, which allowed the mayor's friend to avoid property taxes and possibly liability, contrary to the lies attorney Scott Craig told at the county commissioners meeting.
If you sell this property to some developer or something, do you automatically record that to also that developer is responsible from then on?
Yes. Yes. We give them a deed. They get a deed and it's recorded here.
So there's no building not going on the city property before it's turned over to the developer?
No.
Let's get into the evidence. We know the city attorney is lying about there being no building on city property because the property was transferred to Tim Cottrell in 2023, according to the county website. But Google satellite images from mid-2022 show that 12 properties were already constructed there. In addition to this evidence, the local news also ran a story about these very properties, in which Timothy Cottrell makes some pretty revealing statements about these properties. Let's watch.
New housing is coming to a spot in Clinton that sat empty for nearly a decade. The floodplain by North 6th Street now has 12 homes with many young families living in them.
News 10's Blake Dahlia tells us how this project came together and how it'll help the small town.
Patrice Rondrell, a local business owner, and Mayor Jack Guilfoyle have one thing in common. They both say they want to see more young people live and work in Clinton. Now that business owner has laid the groundwork to help make that dream a reality. If you know Tim Cottrell, you know he's either working on roofs or building homes. He says he loves the city of Clinton, but a conversation with his daughter about the city had him concerned.
Well, it started with a comment from my daughter, kind of a negative comment about the city, and that struck me because that's our hometown, and I didn't want her to feel like it's a bad area.
Mayor Jack Guilfoyle says a lot of younger people are leaving the city, but says Cottrell is helping bring some back. He's invested in building 12 houses on a floodplain near North 6th Street. He's building them to be flood-proof.
I've been on a mission for several years to improve Clinton as much as I can. I try to take the worst houses in town and then either tear them down and build something new or rehab them if I can.
That dream of making his city better came with a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah, I don't know who else would want to sink $1 million into flood zone in Clinton, and that's about what it ended up costing. And I don't have $1 million, but you know, I found a way. I found a way to make it happen.
He did not have $1 million, but he found a way. Perhaps some of the money he used came from the city of Clinton, as the city did admit to reallocating almost $250,000 from a project in the town to the same area that Cottrell built his housing on. Also, when the properties were belatedly transferred over to Cottrell, the clerk treasurer of the city, Lori Kersey, appears to have never signed her name on the quitclaim deed that I have been shown, supposedly showing that she did not support these questionable acts within her own city government.
I don't know who else would want to sink $1 million into flood zone in Clinton, and that's about what it ended up costing. And I don't have $1 million, but you know, I found a way. I found a way to make it happen.
One thing is certain. Tim Cottrell has never met Kevin Kiger, the man who originally owned and wanted to build on this property.
Initially, I wasn't sure what kind of demand we would have for them, and as I built, you know, I had to take my time building them. I didn't have the funding to do it all at once, but as I built each one of them, they were rented out before we even finished them. So it really worked out well.
So now, thanks to Cottrell's statement, we know that he was renting out city property and presumably keeping the money for himself, which explains why the county government was asking questions in the first place. What we are asking is how they are allowed to do this to people like Kevin Kiger and get away with it. According to Mayor Jack Guilfoyle, the state has already looked into this issue and found no wrongdoing.
Mayor, why have you sold properties to a private contractor for an average of $1 per property?
Ask Tim, he's asked me that question before, and so you both got the answer.
So did the state of Indiana.
Yeah, and they said there was nothing wrong. No, they didn't.
Yes, we did. No, it's on tape.
The city
It's
attorney
said-
met with Will
The city attorney said he swept it
The
under the
city's
rug.
an
The city has never provided any proof that any building permits were ever granted to Tim Cottrell to build in that flood zone. And the person in charge of the permits for the city, Kenneth Weininger, told me that Tim never got permits. What he got was permission. Sure would have been nice for Kevin Kiger, but the reality is that we shouldn't need permission to build on our own property. We definitely shouldn't be paying thugs like these for the right to own property. However, the moral of this story is rules don't apply to the rulers, only the rules. Some may be asking, who exactly is to blame for this double standard in the city of Clinton? And in my opinion, the answer to that is the mayor, Jack Guilfoyle Jr., and the other local officials that have imposed the rules when it benefits them and overlooked the same rules when their friend is the party in question. As a result of my investigation into this city and asking questions to local officials, I have been charged with felony stalking. The alleged victim, a woman that works in the mayor's office in real life, but on paper is a utility clerk. Me exposing corruption, asking questions of local officials, and exercising my right to record in public while doing so is not a criminal offense. However, they are attempting to persecute me with felony charges that carry up to 2.5 years in prison. To help me fight back against this tyranny, please donate to either my Cash App or PayPal, and share this video to help expose this corruption to as many people as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It helps it get to more people. And leave me a comment and tell me what you think down below. All right. So we've got this guy who says, no justice, no peace. Hunter Reese. Broken Justice says, she sure looks stalked. And guys, by the way, that is a point of the utmost importance. This gal has interacted with me 4 or 5 times, like inside or outside the city hall, and every single time she has the biggest smile you've ever seen on her face. Now I see a lot of people saying, you know, you're helping them, put you in jail, all this. No, I'm not. And I actually want to pull up for you guys the recent order that even I hadn't seen before this video. We're going to see exactly what is going on, exactly what the court is trying to do, because they seem to say in this order that they are resetting the order. And so I want to show you all. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to jail, because the order specifies that. So we're going to check it out. I want to share this tab right here. All right. So we are in it, and this is a order resetting defendant's motion to dismiss, directing increased reporting for pretrial supervision, and granting protective order concerning discovery. So this is like the whole shebang, everybody. He just put it all together for me. Looks like it was filed on 1/02. Right, but this was just sent to me on the 25th. I don't want to show it to you because this is in a private folder that I'm not going to show, but I was just sent this on the 25th. Today's the 28th, so I haven't seen it yet. This is new to me. I'll show you. State appears by its Chief Deputy Prosecutor Chris Reed. Defendant appears in person and with counsel. Defendant moves the court to continue the hearing on motion to dismiss. Yada, yada, yada. No, actually, this is old. Yep. They are trying to send me to jail. Goodness me. That is exactly what's going on, everybody. That is an old document. I don't know why it was sent to me on the 25th. But yes, Broken Justice says that's cute. Orders without a conviction, granting them power over you. And it is exactly that. And that's why they wanted to charge me in the first place, because they know that a guy like me just doesn't comply with tyranny. And so what the deal is, everybody, is I will be going to jail on January 31st. If anybody can come and support me, that would be absolutely great. If you can't come and support me,
I do want to say I will most likely have either a bond set, and if I don't have a bond set, my lawyer is going to be going to depositions. So if anything, I will need a little bit of help for that. If you can help me support that, the Cash App and the PayPal should be in the description, I believe. And that would really, really help out because depositions are real pricey here in Indiana. They make you pay the court clerk something like $50 an hour to do a deposition. And with with depositions like this, we need a lot of hours going on because there are a lot of people involved that are just quite simply acting in criminal ways, doing criminal activities. It's organized crime, guys. What else can we expect from them? But energetic remedies. I appreciate that, man. I mean, that's funny. I don't know. I haven't experience with the court system. They're quite black and white. They like to act like they haven't seen any evidence until trial, benefiting the prosecution. But they always want to look at all the prosecutions like, oh, he's violating pretrial, terms, all this stuff. Yeah, it's pretrial sentencing is what it is, guys. Let's not mistake it, right? This isn't a high crime that I'm accused of. This is a bogus crime. This is just every aspect of this that's involved is just speech. It's news gathering. It's just ridiculous. Everything that they're talking about that I did, none of it is a crime. I can't express that enough. On top of that, they placed a gag order on me in this case, saying that I cannot distribute any materials of the discovery in this case. Now, luckily, before that order was issued, one person did have access to the discovery. I can't talk to them about it, but they know who they are, and they know that if I go to jail, they can do whatever they want to it. They are not signed into any terms with the court, right? So even if the court thinks that I am, they aren't, right? So this material might just get out there anyways. So UTW, send this to Lackluster and ATA. Yeah, I mean, I talked to Lackluster about it. Maybe if I go to jail, he'll send a little message out to y'all saying that I did. He does know what's going on though. This case is so terrible, right? James Freeman covered it, and I thank him for doing that. That was really great of him. But yeah, guys, and this is what's going on. They won't see the light and dismiss the charges because the prosecution knew it was dirty from day one. And I even saw the lead prosecutor in the courthouse a couple times in the same day, Bruce Ackerman. He is a big man, and I'm not talking about in a healthy way. This guy is unhealthily huge. He should really see a physician and talk about getting a dietary plan. Anyways, I talked to him in the courthouse. Maybe I saw him like the third time. And I'm telling you, this guy scares me because he is prosecuting me maliciously. He is going to be the one, ultimately, the elected official that sends me to jail. And I hate jail. I hate it. It sucks. I can't see my family. I can't see my woman. It's terrible, right? It's the worst place in the world. And I'm telling you, this is the guy that's going to send me there. So I told him in the courthouse, I said, man, me seeing you in all of these public buildings and you trying to talk to me really makes me feel like you're stalking me. Of course, I said that to be facetious because that's ridiculous, right? You see people in public buildings, no matter how you feel about them, it's a public building. If you don't like it, you can leave, right? That's the deal. So yeah, it is what it is. I see Michigan Constitutional Crusader in there. He knows exactly what it's like to be maliciously prosecuted and have the corrupt powers of a court hung over him. That's exactly what's going on here. So I'm not gonna go on about this much more, guys. I think I put everything that I need to put in this live stream. If you want to go back and watch it, there's not a lot of dead time. Go back and check it out. It's pretty entertaining. But I'm just trying to stand up for what's right, guys. And what's right is not only what's morally right, but what's legally right and what's lawfully right. Because I see Gem City News. Thanks for being here. Bob Lau, thank you a lot for that super chat, $10. I really do appreciate that. Be strong, malicious charges, crap pigs. Yep, it's true. So, guys, yeah, I mean, really, ultimately, I'm just trying to stand up for what's right. Like I say, these guys are maliciously prosecuting me from the jump. So anything after that is it's in intrinsically unlawful for them, anything that they asked me to do, order me to do, after maliciously prosecuting me and illegally arresting me and forcing me to sit in jail. Gem City News, $20. I really appreciate that, bro. That's much love out to him. Everybody needs to go check out Gem City News because he does do good work out there. And he kind of has been, I mean, you should go see the videos. He's been pushed around. He's been threatened, everything. He doesn't ever give up his ID. He doesn't give up anything. But guys, please send your support. Please send your prayers if you're religious, and just send good energy to me if otherwise, because I need everything that I can get. These people are evil, and they are out to get me. They are out to silence me. So you all have a good one, and we will see you later.